one of the allegations here appears to be whether or not images are involved of somebody who was 17 at the time. What will the police be doing now? Because they've not officially launched an investigation.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. Well, I've questioned why it's taking so long, frankly, and I've never heard the word scope before. We've had 5-6 days now in order for the police to investigate. I always say, if you don't get off your backside and go and investigate, then clearly you won't find evidence. Now, this has been going on for some time. And contrary to some claims, the family allegedly did go and report this to the police. I don't know who they reported it to. I'd like to know. I'd like to know why they said at that initial stage there was no evidence of anything. I say again, and I've said it with Bashir, I've said it with some members of the royal family, unless you investigate, you won't find evidence. What I find extraordinary, frankly, is now day 6. Why haven't we sent a couple of detectives round to see the family, look at the evidence, go to the son, say, give us your details, give us what you're alleging? That surely doesn't take week upon week to carry on.
Well, that is another good point. I'm going to be having that discussion a bit later on, Dai, about the son. There are some noises now just to say put up or shut up. I can understand from a commercial perspective why they might want this to run on for as long as possible. But the son, according to reports, have said, we don't have to prove this to the public, we have to prove this to the police, which might imply that there is some involvement there. And again, if there is evidence of criminality, one would expect that maybe they are indeed going to it with the police. But there is a would I call it a quirk of British law? Maybe I will call it a quirk of British law, whereby an individual could engage in sexual acts with somebody as long as they are over the age of 16, physically. But when it comes to photographs, that's not OK unless they're 18. Is that right?
Well, yes, I'm not a lawyer and I'm a little bit out of touch in some of this. I merely talk, as I've said to you many times, with half a century of experience. There does seem to be an anomaly here that you can get married and have sex when you're 16, and yet you can't knowingly choose to send pornographic images on the web. And, of course, the Protection of Children Act of 1978, from memory, also says you're under 18, you can't acquiesce to it. So there are some anomalies, as you rightly point out. Clearly, if this man was over 18 and he wasn't subjected to any force or any other kind of maltreatment to provide this, then I don't think any offences have been committed. Ethically and morally, then clearly there are questions to be asked. So the first job of the police is to investigate. Go and see all the parties concerned, and if necessary, speak to the announcer under caution if you've got evidence, and let's see where that takes us. But this nonsense going on and on and on, where we have a potential of nuclear war in the Ukraine,
well, yeah,
it just
quite.
beggars belief.